It's an everyday thing, it's an everyday thing, it's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
It is day 8 of the government shutdown, but it is day 19 of the House being on vacation. How is it possible that the party in charge of the government is sitting at home while the government is shut down? Well, let's take a look. So this is the House schedule. These yellow blocks are work days. It's already a pretty nice schedule. Most people, if they are fortunate, get either 7 days or 10 days of vacation. Some people get less, some people get more, but nobody gets this amount of time off. Now, we call that a district work period or a home work period, and that's true. We need to be home to interact with our constituents, but that's what August is for. So here's what happened. They left early on the 25th, specifically to avoid a vote on the Epstein files. Then they had this week off, 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 this day off, come back. 1, 2, 3, long weekend. 1, 2, 3, 4, long weekend. 1, 2, 3, 4, long weekend, another break, another break, another break, and now they're saying another break. Get back to work. Get back to work.
I told y'all, for this government shutdown, they need to be in there from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. It's a fact. They need to be at work. The country is their job. They are failing at their job. If I had to grade them on what their job is to do, they get a C minus. And if they turn in they work late, which they're already late, we're what, day 8 of a government shutdown? Hey, they're late, dog. We docking off 10 points every day. We 10 points, and we ain't even docking off the people who not getting paid. We should dock more, because now you have people not showing up to work. Now people can't travel. Now people can't get health care. Now people can't go to DHS. Now the IRS is closing.
Facing a healthcare crisis, and we didn't pull this out of some Democratic strategist lab. And the presiding officer knows this in his home state. Prices are about to spike disproportionately among people who voted for Donald Trump, disproportionately in rural communities, disproportionately among farmers. And they're not going to spike a little. This is not like normally 4% increase is now 7%. Price of health care is about to go up 114%. 114%. So you can find some people who are only paying like a 40 or 50% increase, and you still can't afford that.
Okay, if you watched the stream from last night, you will understand why healthcare will rise. It's not because the American people. It's because of, and I'm not finna blame them, but I'm finna blame them, the illegal immigrants. Because when they go to the emergency room and they have a stay there, and they don't get approved for Medicaid, Medicare, whatever that helps the cost of the hospitals, hospitals have to turn people away because they don't get approved, or the hospital's got to take the people in. The hospital has to get their funds back. Who they gonna get the funds back from? The American people who pay their healthcare costs, and healthcare will rise because that hospital still has to be paid. We're gonna go back to that. We're gonna revisit that tomorrow. So if you're here tonight, come back tomorrow for live call-ins to tell me how you feel about what I just said.
Most people can't afford a 40 or 50% increase in the cost of almost anything. But healthcare is a big chunk of the cost of living. And so here we are, as Democrats, saying, help us help you, Republicans. You created this mess that is causing your signature legislative achievement to be a drag on your electoral chances. But we want those 24 million people to have relief. And so we're simply saying we can open the government tomorrow morning if Donald John Trump realizes that he's hurting his own people.
This says, how is it possible that the party in charge of the government is sitting at home in the middle of a shutdown?
If this is going to get solved, it's probably going to get solved organically by rank and file Democrats, because their leadership has no interest in a solution. When Chuck Schumer is saying this is getting better for us every day, that's not somebody who wants to see this get resolved. And they are pandering to the left-wing special interest groups out there who have demanded this and demanded this showdown with the President of the United States. And so we've got a bill, as I've said, that's passed the House, that's sitting at the desk in the Senate that we could pass today, put it on the President's desk, he would sign it into law, and this shutdown whole fiasco ends, and people can get back to work, and we can start paying the federal employees who are starting to miss paychecks. If this is going to get...
All right, so in the midst of that, I'm going to go back to this video so we can understand what I'm talking about.
Listen, I'm not saying you have to like it. I'm not even saying you have to love it. But the government shutdown is the complete fault of the Democrats wanting illegal immigration to have free healthcare. Now, I'm really tired of just seeing stupidity in my comments and just...
Yeah, I will agree with you on that one. There is a lot of stupid going around.
The complete ignorant from the left in the past two videos, so I did the research for you. And I read Chuck Schumer's proposal to the Senate, as well as the acts that he was referencing in the big beautiful bill that Trump had passed. So let's go over it. So in Chuck Schumer's proposal in section E, which I'll pull up over here, if you read it, basically says that they want the big beautiful bill's federal cuts to be repealed, specifically under this certain act that is written in said big beautiful bill. Now, what's this act? Let's get into it. So the act, which I'll pull up here.
Okay, just so we're all clear and there's not any confusion, she's using the wrong word. There is no act inside of the big beautiful bill. That is the act. It's an act of Congress. It's a piece of legislation. So we're not talking about two pieces of legislation here. We're just talking about the big beautiful bill, okay? She's just using the wrong word.
Basically states that the federal government will be cutting funding from Medicaid, and that immigrants who are not documented, right, illegal immigrants that are undocumented will not be eligible for Medicaid, meaning they were eligible for Medicaid before and now they're not.
First of all, if you are an undocumented immigrant, you are ineligible for Medicaid. You cannot apply for and then receive Medicaid. That's the current federal law. That was the current federal law before the one big beautiful bill passed. Second of all, I thought you told us that you read it, that you did the research for us so that we didn't have to. You said you read it. You didn't read it. Or if you did read it, you didn't comprehend it. So let's read it together, shall we? This is what you shared, right? This is what you shared, and you had highlighted unless such an individual is, and then you also highlighted section 3, an alien who has been granted the status, yada, 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 down there, right? This is what you're not understanding. Read the first part of this. In no event shall payment be made to a state under this section for medical assistance furnished to an individual unless such individual is, the first one, a resident of one of the 50 states, a citizen or national of the United States, an alien lawfully admitted for permanent residence. The next one, an alien who has been granted the status of Cuban and Haitian entrant as defined in section yada, yada, yada. And the last one, an individual who lawfully resides in the United States in accordance with Compact of Free Association, referred to in section yada, yada, yada. You didn't read this. Let me break this down a little further. In order for you and your claim to be correct, in the provision of the bill that you shared on your screen, one of those bullet points would have had to have read, we the Congress are changing federal law to disallow undocumented immigrants from applying for and then receiving Medicaid coverage, right? Then you would be correct in saying, well, the Democrats want to repeal that provision and therefore want to give back undocumented immigrants the right to apply for and then receive Medicaid coverage. Then you would be correct, but it didn't say that in the provision that you shared. It doesn't say that anywhere in the one big beautiful bill because current federal law and federal law before the one big beautiful bill, is such that undocumented immigrants are ineligible. They are not able to apply for and then receive Medicaid coverage. It's against the law. Undocumented immigrants, per federal law, do not have access to Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps, even the Affordable Care Act. Now, in my opinion, should they? Yes, but that's not what congressional Democrats are asking for. They're not. Republicans are lying to you. It really is that simple. And they're going to keep doing that because they assume that you are too dumb to read anything. Stop proving them right. You guys are not dumb. But they think you are because you let them.
Okay, and this is what we will be talking about tomorrow. So if you want to call in and express, I highly suggest you kind of do a little bit of TikTok research and find out who else is talking about this so you can have your talking points, because I do want to, I'm not going to prove you wrong, but I want y'all to express yourself. Tell us why you mad. That's what the call in is called. Tell us why you mad. And this is it. This is what we shut down for. So if y'all want the truth, here's the truth.